But that's in China.
Yeah.
This is good, man. You got this one. Okay. Wait, hold on.
On the show a minute ago. Like somewhere around
Islam.
September or August.
Are we on?
Yeah.
He was introduced by Taj and the House of Re-Breaking
Oh yeah.
Minds. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
I think that brother-
so what does that mean? He is yet another citizen of ours.
Exactly.
Because he's another Moorish, internet Moor, another Moorish enthusiast that got under Taj.
Okay, so you guys are pretty much rapping everybody.
Oh, I'm tying him in. I'm Vader Bay.
He's the magistrate.
No. But check this out, though. But check this out. Also, there's no knock against him, but let's just say this was Ask a Magistrate. Praise Allah, Islam, forever rising. That's why it's for Ask Magistrate, because that brother, we gotta be honest. All of the Washita, the Yamasee, Moorish National Republic, different powerful Moorish grand bodies in nations and tribes, right? Can't say they're not tribes because they're not tribes. That's wrong. Tribes are tributaries. Tributaries. The main river here is what? The Nile River, and the Nile River is Mississippi. So you always have cataracts, which are tributaries. They're offshoots of the branches that they look like roots of a tree. So you have a tribe because you have families. So you have your own organization, because inside your body you have organs.
That's right.
And they're
Governing bodies.
So that organization in itself. Then you have a family. Then you have clans. Then you have bands, loose bands. Then you have clans when y'all organize as bands organize. Then you have tribes, which is a bunch of clans. Then you have nations, a bunch of tribes. See? So that brother, now all the tribes in the nation strive to get passports. Been on the passport game. Just that the United States of America corporation at Tao had colluded or just convinced, maybe even paid the U.S. and the passport agencies. There's different manufacturers that produce your IDs. You can get an ID online. Moore's got their own ID machines, all kind of mixed, things. If you want to get a passport, they already called everybody and said, don't give no Moorish, indigenous, Turtle Island, nobody, Moorish, M-U-U-R, Moors, MERS, nobody, don't give them a passport. So we overstand, because we are the angels of Allah with 24 elders. We see from the sky. We see that the brothers in China. My wife does big time in Thailand and stuff, business, different things. In China, especially if you're physically over there, of course you can get a actual manufacturing factory who don't give a shit about American laws, United States, to print you up one. Because you're physically there. I like it. You won't fool me to think that person is like jazzier than they are because I've been around. No, just as a Moorish enthusiast that became a part of Taj's movement and students vicariously or not. All these people would become Taj's students vicariously a lot, and then they meet Taj because they rise through ranks. They make some kind of noise, I guess, as they should, and then they probably attract the attention to Taj. That's how I see it a lot, right? So he's still one of those types that fits in from my purview. He's probably a good brother that's a merchant, looks like a fashion icon or who else, all these types, and because they might speak Mandarin too, they're over there in country on site. So then if I was him, I would have did the same thing. I ain't hating. Yeah, but that's what it is. In China, they'll make you a Sony Walkman if that's what you want. Like wallahi, if you say you want it, they'll put Sony sticker on that shit.
They'll build you a wife from the ground up.
Pretty much.
So his passport is dope. His travel document. It looks like our technology. I know the Moors that design that. I know them, and they do fabulous, great work. But they won't tell me. That brother won't tell me that he designed that. That's his technology. No. Because the Moors that advertise and push him on Facebook and otherwise that are the main supporters are really ones that made that, and they like super Moors. So they're trying to, like, you know, to me, I'm like, oh, come on, brothers, that's y'all shit. You know what I mean? They acting like it's him over there. Oh yeah, we support the brother over there. Oh yeah, that Mo, he's a whole consul. Mo, that's y'all. Mo, that's just say it's y'all. I want one. I just say they won't say it's theirs. Just like, oh, the brother, yeah. But it's really these couple super Moors that already got it going on. They're the only other Moors in the country that got a court. Probably. See, that's a Sharia law court. So they so high on the totem pole, they probably commissioned him and just support him that he wanted to do it. It seemed like he wanted to do it, start doing it, and then the Moors was like, oh yeah, we'll help you. And they jazzed his jaw up, because I'm looking at it like, whew. But then I could tell, just looking at him up and down, bro, I could read and write, I could see, you know, look at the shoes up and down, bro. You couldn't have put the shit down there, don't forget, fool me. The joint too hot. And I'm like, you too new. But I'm standing at the Moor that's telling me about you. Oh yeah, you put it together, Mo. I like your style. I'm gonna say it's him. Okay, I'm gonna give you the money though. And I am. But those are the Moors we're gonna bring into fold to say this is your job officially. But they have to be able to be wise and don't be like Rise of the Moors and just go off on the training exercise. Don't call the magistrate, and then the magistrate. I could have called as a chaplain, and my chaplain capacity, I would have called the state police in Connecticut and cleared the path and said, "These are my guys out there training, and if you see them, give them some gas or something."
What's the situation with them brothers now?
I don't know.
Still capped down.
So I'm just saying they didn't do that though, right? They didn't call. They was young Moors. They didn't.
I mean, the whole thing is one, they didn't commit a crime.
No, we didn't say that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
That's a bad answer because people. That's the problem with the young Moors. They think that being right is enough.
Oh, I mean,
being factual is enough.
I know that for a fact.
Being factual is not enough,
Mm-hmm.
and it necessarily shouldn't be all the way too. Because when you want to be sovereign or you want to be left alone, you're saying that you have more responsibility. You're saying you're not just a worker at McDonald's, you're a franchise manager or something. So why should you be having less it doesn't make sense all the time. So then they want to be sovereign with all these guns, and then but also they don't want to make a phone call. Why? It's unbalanced energy.
Pride always comes before the fall.
Yeah, here you go.
That's what the brother said.
Here you go.
That's the brother said.
Here you go.
You said fire come before the fall.
Pride always comes before
That
the
don't mean
fall.
they don't mean they wouldn't have did nothing anyway to them. But at least they would have done their due diligence. No, it doesn't make it take it away from the Albion doing treachery. I'm not saying that the Albion not going to do treachery. But when you do your due diligence, now it's like when they say in the Malcolm X movie, it's like you take one step towards Allah, he can take 2 steps towards you, type of thing. So the angels got to be able to support you. So it's like you don't get a chi. You don't get a chi. No. You don't really support the chi. You don't really like give it no room for fortune to happen.
Right.
Because there's no such thing as good luck, but it's like good fortune or whatever, But in that Buddhist mentality, but it's like it got to be space there for the magic to work. You give it some kind of, you know how you say. They say, my money spell didn't work. They said, well, Dad, you didn't do anything to create a space in your schedule or some kind of mechanism to even catch the new money you think you want. But you over here doing the upside down pentagram stuff. See, we do the pentagram up, mind over matter. So we burn incense, we chant the attributes of Allah. Those are our spells. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Ghafur, Al-Sabur. Right? Those are words of power. So those are 99. So as Sufis, as Moors, we have a lot of so we could just play an Asiatic woman could just play their favorite James Brown or tweet or who they playing, Megan Thee Stallion. Like none of her stuff is straight trash, but like she got good Jones like tap in. Because I was like, what's once in a while to get it right? Tap, tap, tap in. It's like, ooh, yeah, I'm tapped in. So that's the one time they can be getting it right. But let's just say something more soulful, and burn their incense and dance, and the Holy Ghost is already produced with us just that quick. That's mind over matter. They burn the incense, they drunk some water, right? They activated those elements on that right, and they played those tones because remember each angel and each one is a tone, right? So that tone of that music, they danced, they played the right incense, they cooked the right food, the smells was in the air, and they created that Holy Ghost. That was there, but they want to do it the other way around, where they want to subject the spirit. I forgot why I said that though. It was something about what we was talking about.
I understand. They wanted to subject their spirit to.
But we were just talking about how the young Moors are doing it backwards in that regard of putting it, so-called putting the cart before the horse, and not being balanced with their chi and their energy and providing a space in the ethers, and a space in the physical world, space in their time frame, a space in their mind, space in their work ethic for the thing to be fruitful. They just want it to be that way because it's factual, but they don't want to do the spade work to make it fruitful or bear fruit. So that's why we say, well, we whistle while we work. We play music, we play Todd Street Bay on the speaker as we walk around and do actual real work. That's not the stuff we talk about. No, that's like elevated music. That's the stuff as Moorish culture. My daughter, she's 22. She works for the federal government. She's a scientist by trade, a science fellow under the microscope on that type of thing. But it's because she listens to Hodge and all that in the background. It's not something that like we teach in India, because we had to teach more science and application, not scholarly pursuits.
And that's why hip hop became so powerful, because it was a rudimentary science of all that.
Mm-hmm. So that was it. But was that the answer? That was the question we was talking about, though, right? What was the original question?
Question was.
No, I was talking about the brother from China.
Oh, I was saying the brother from China because I was saying that I like the travel document. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get one,
right?
Because I'm military, so I'm government, so I'm not for reinventing the wheel. And so we have so many jobs in our caliphate chart. Yeah. For everybody, yeah. So why can't he do that job? Right. I'm sure he's using Moorish National Republic documents.
That's right.
So everybody in the country, all these news channels, they be calling me once a year, and I be doing news shows, because that filing is like the only filing officially anywhere in the galaxy that they could find with the name. People just took it and ran with it. Todd was part of the Moors from South Jersey area corporate, so Moors ordered round table for 30 years with all these elder Moors that passed away with great Moors. He's probably one of the only ones that stayed. He probably a baby. He was a young buck back then. They was elder Moors.
He was.
See? So all the real powerful Moors is the Moors that ordered the round table. See? So they was using Moorish National Republic back then, obviously. Remember? Because it was around since 1970. Yeah. So that's why he's the one that kept the torch going and used the thing. But we're the one with the filing. It's like he's schooling them and we ruling them. And we got to work together. And we need more nationals to come on board. And more officials and executive rulers from the Moorish Science of America to come on board as well. But if they don't come on, then we're going to install Moors and bring them into our temple, because we have a charter here in New Jerusalem, Pennsylvania Corporation, New York. We got about I got these from the Governor Umar. These are heavy charters, and this is one of our best charters because it's not incorporated. Moorish National Republic not incorporated. It was so it's organic. Ain't that deep? It's just got organized as a religious body politic, and they filed an affidavit like Prophet did, Cook County. They filed in Washington, in Atlantic City, when they filed it, in Trenton. And in 1970, they just gave them their acknowledgement as a tax-exempt organization, but they didn't make them submit to the state by filing what? Articles of Corporation. So that's now any state though, no state right now will give you an acknowledgement of tax exempt without you first filing a articles of incorporation.
It's because you used
they use Hers Revised statute.
Yeah, Hers Revised statute is a statute that had to comply with. There's one in every state.
Well, this one was unique to Illinois because they asked the Prophet Noor Ali, why did he move the movement to Chicago, and he said their laws were more favorable there.
Yeah, because
There was the only place in the country that had the Religious Corporations Act. That wasn't universal.
Is it religious? The
I'm just
Religious
telling you.
Act of 1807.
Religious Corporations Act. It got codified in Hurd's revised statute.
Yeah, it got codified in Hurd's revised
Yeah,
statute.
that's what I'm saying. It's on there.
Chicago,
I just showed it to you.
Yeah, but I think every state.
Every state does not have it at all. So that's why the Prophet moved the temple to Illinois when it was in New Jersey at first.
Yeah, I know he started in New Jersey.
Because if it was in Jersey, he wouldn't have moved it. He moved it there, and they asked him why.
No, I'm saying that was years ago though. But I think I think Jersey has.
Nope, they've repealed it. There's no state in the union will engage in that type of mentality now.
Man.
No, because that Religious Corporations Act said religious body politics were sovereign. It had police forces. So nobody else had that, and nobody else wanted to ever have it afterwards.
But isn't that a federal act though?
No,
it's not a federal act.
No, it's just something that just came about in that space and time.
Yeah.
It was just a window of opportunity. The Prophet
seized. He seized the time.
I don't call it window of opportunity. He knew it was there.
That's what you said. It's a window of opportunity. It's closed. Well, you can't knock it. No.
I'm not disagreeing.
These are plain words. These are plain words.
No, I'm not.
It was only two organizations that benefited when it was the Temple and the Catholic Church. It was closed after that. That was a window of opportunity. Whoever didn't file.
Yeah, they did it.
So it was the Prophet did not start the organization in Illinois. He didn't. He started in Newark, New Jersey. There was a window of opportunity.
I'm just saying.
They moved the movement to Illinois. They asked him about his rationality behind it, and he said, "Well, I took my movement there because more laws were favorable there." That's the window of opportunity. So he cashed in on that. That's not a bad thing, or it doesn't imply anything really. It's just
I'm just saying I'm not in disagreement. It's just like, and it kind of goes.
It's not saying a loophole or anything.
No. It just kind of go back to me where Jesus said, "I'll prepare a place for you in the presence of your enemies."
It doesn't count that at all.
No.
So what he did that? He was doing that in the window of opportunity.
I'm not in disagreement.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's like when you said that, like it was just an opportunity for that part of time.
That just say, you just said
it came exactly.
What people would normally say is, "Wow, that proves the prophecy how they said." Hey, I can't improve.
That's what I was.
So that's how he did it.
Yeah, that's what
he did that because he's the one that took that opportunity up, and the Catholic Church saw him and took and followed his lead, and said they'll do it as well.
Yep.
So that's what it is, and no other state would want to have that continuing to this day or nothing. No, once they repealed it off the books, even it was gone, and they repealed it a couple years later, but. Your grandfather didn't. So all of the temples that come out of that charter are especially protected. All of religious institutions are protected, period. But the ones that come out of that one are especially protected because they are from that time and space where the state admitted and made a statute that said that religious body politics were sovereign and to that effect, and that they were self-governing in the XYZ. So once they closed it, that's just for future people, for whoever had it locked in. But so that's what gave me my authority in 2006. I got my charter, and I understood it, and that's why I really couldn't talk about it, because once I learned about that, I realized that wow, we operate the Islamic and interfaith, because it's Jesus, Buddha, Confucius on the card. So it's both Islamic and interfaith archdiocese. That's why the federal government deals with me directly in a more favorable way, because I don't have to make no hard whatever. I know and they know it's archdiocese, and that's a religious body politic government. No more is describe it as such myself. So they're looking at it in a million different ways. And the closest they get to it is saying theocratic government, which it is, but really it's the archdiocese. Because as a caliph, it's like I'm the pope, and then there's religious districts everywhere called temples, and then religious in government language, temple means municipality or village or township. I remember going to Trenton and reading that in their government manual. I was done. I said, I realized what the prophet did. He named them all generic names. Temple number 13. That means city number 13. That's why there can be multiple temples because, or whatever. Or just explain why they didn't have different numbers. But every temple is like a government building or a city hall of sorts. So when you have 5 boroughs, in New York, corporation, they all have what? Their own city hall. That would be like a temple. They all would be temple number 20 or whatever because they're all New York. But each might be 5 temple number 20s because it's 5 boroughs. So those would be the city hall buildings. So this is why ain't nobody know this, God. Ain't no sheik ever told you this. No more off the internet, on the internet, Taj himself. Nobody told you how to rule this, that. Nobody put it together like this. Elder Grand Sheik Tariq Bey came to my international interfaith court when I first opened up day 1. Praise Allah. What is it? October 26, 2013 CE at the Criminal Justice Center, courtroom 304, that equals 7. And he was there, 5:30 p.m., front and center, to watch me take the throne. So praise Allah. I mean, he could have not got that message. But he was there to witness it. It was mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. So, of course, anybody can. Court is wherever the jury, wherever the judge, the clerk, and the bailiff, and the clients and the faithful are. So that could be on Zoom, how they did like it done. They could be on closed circuit TV, like they've been locking people up for years, and then on the weekend you only see a TV judge to know if you're gonna get bail or not.
Which is what they call in the Catholic setting. What they call it in the Catholic
confessional.
Confessional.
See, ain't that deep? You don't know that. So we have Moorish confessional now. So now we are gonna appoint a warden, and then that person to go and be. Because remember on the back of the 101s it says the authority. It says what? He consecrated sheiks to propagate the faith of Muhammad in America, and their wardens, vestrymen, or any other title that they may adopt. Remember that? Wardens, vestrymen, or other titles. Wardens. So the sheiks are so scared to do anything, they never appoint wardens or anything because they don't know what to do. So we would appoint the Sifu as a Moorish warden. Now he can go extract the Moorish property, the Islamic property, from the Catholic warden because it's just a Christian jail. That's all it is. Now, Dad Moore has a vow of poverty because man is not the body or the soul, but a spirit and part of Allah. So now he's not his body. He gave a vow of poverty. Now he don't own himself, his body, because the body is the first temple. Your body's your first church, your first temple. That's the physical world, right? Your body's a temple. So that temple is owned on paper by the vow of poverty by the Moorish Science Temple now. That's why you wear your lapel. Your button on your lapel, like your flag, because that's called extraterritoriality. Wherever that flag is posted is showing property of that nation, and the jurisdiction follows where that flag is posted. So now you got that pin, and you got a vow of poverty. Now that warden can go get that Islamic Moorish property from the Christian warden. Now this has been done. Praise Allah. Grand Sheikh Bashar Bey, praise Allah for him, who was the father who passed away, transition, who's the father for our bailiff, Grand Mufti Farouk Asim Osset Bey. His pop, I knew his pop way before I knew him. That's deep. He served on the court as my first bailiff. But I rolled with his pop. Remember, one of the Moorish elders. I told you I used to roll with elders. So the Grand Sheikh Bashar Bey was bad. So he was the type person. So he went in the late 80s. Moors had got locked up and they gave him probation. And then he had went down probation board. And I got to find it. I had the file too. And I might have the email somewhere. He had the Moorish American Office of Probation Parole. He went down there and got them Moors off. The Moors had to be with him for 6 months. He gave the parole officers a whole outline of 6 months. They was going to be with the sheiks and all that. They was like, psh, they was Masons, the Grand Sheiks was on the Masonic Jones, so they was them Europeans down at them cops and the parole officers, them guns at the dang parole officers. They was like, psh, yes, Sheik. They released the Moors. And the Moors did their time in their own worship under their own vine and fig tree. That's what that means, Moors. You gotta know what this stuff means. If you don't have an institution to opt out into, then you're forced to get Christian Catholic charities, because most of the time, a lot of times, it's them doing mental health intervention and you don't know it because they're bad at it.
Because everybody's been labeled Section 8 if you don't have a status in the
No, they're just bad at it. No, the police are just bad at it.
Okay.
When the police intercede, if I'm fighting with my wife, that somebody knocks on the door, the police intercede. No matter what they call it, and just because they're bad at it, they're still providing a mental health intercession. They're doing a timeout, or what do they call it?
Wellness check.
What not? It's supposed to be, but they call it a when they say when they jump in somebody's life and they say we're going to do it such and such on them.
Investigation, interrogation.
No, what you say? Intervention.
Intervention.
Right? They're interceding. They're doing intervention. So the Romans is coming in. That's what we call the police. The Roman soldiers. Right? The Romans coming in. So, hey, I'm salty, but what can I say? Because if when we get into something and the muftis don't show up, which is a faith-based and faith-appropriate intervention that I have First Amendment right to, or that the government has a First Amendment obligation to
provide,
ignore, to not bother me, to not to yeah, because the Constitution rights are not my rights. They're their rights, meaning their obligations, their checks and boundaries on what they can, who they can run down on, and who they can, and how and why. That's all. So when we're saying constitutional rights, we're invoking their rules against themselves. Mm-hmm. So we're saying, we have our own faith-based and faith-appropriate intervention. So now we opt out of yours. In the government and around the United States, in mental health and wellness, that's called the person first approach. Ain't that deep? Mm. And in Philadelphia, it was the leading in the country. San Francisco and all other countries, all of the states are countries. All other states in the union came to Philadelphia Corporation and did workshops. I was there because I was on the person first task force. I represent Indigenous Peoples Heritage Society. I represented all Native people, Moorish and non-Moorish, in the whole area. You should see all the African Americans on the board that hated my guts. They represent all these black groups and all that. And I was looking like myself. And look, they used to have my logo, Indigenous People Heritage Society, one with the feathers, and it's so beautiful. And they used to be mad because I'm not representing black people. The city themselves had to stop them and say, no, there's all kind of Indigenous people. You can't get mad because he's dark-skinned and he represents Indigenous people. They had to tell all them African-American people to stand down off him. Ain't that crazy? And that's the city. And they ain't even my friend. Right? But they had to tell y'all is tripping.
Right.
You know what I mean? Up in here. But the person first task force was building the policy that will be used nationwide now that's in effect. So you don't realize that when the police is just a mental health intervention. If you knew that, then you would get more community policing, especially ones underneath our faith-based and faith-appropriate policing, like our muftis, vanguards, deacons, imams, and whatnot. And then we could opt out of that. But we don't know that their police are really just, the police station is really Roman Catholic. The fire station is really Roman Catholic. They're proud of it. All the symbolism and everything. They still got red hair and everything. The whole thing is they hire a couple Puerto Ricans and a couple Koreans, and you think NYPD ain't Catholic. It's just fooling you. It's just Catholic. So now we have to replace those systems. This is my job as the Caliph of the Moorish National Republic. And it has been. And I had to stand up and deal with and interact with and be on post and interface with all the alphabet boys to say what I'm saying right now. How about that? And they had to say, yes, you right and exact, Magistrate, as the Caliph and as the Grand Mufti of North America, you do have the right to enforce the interfaith. I said, yeah, they thought it was slick. Why is it interfaith and not Moorish court? They thinking is you being a spy? Oh no, it's not that I'm being a spy. I had to tell the FBI, and I'm being a spy. No, I had called the interfaith court as the top umbrella because why? I'm a Grand Mufti of North America. The Prophet Muhammad Salatu Salam, as his first active prophet, he settled the Yathrib, which became the Medina, and he wrote and installed the Constitution or the Treaty of Medina, teaching Christians, Jews, and Muslims how to get along in Medina. It was an interfaith treaty. So as the Grand Mufti in North America, carrying on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, look, so that way this was even behind anybody saying, I can't talk about the Prophet, no leave. Oh well, I'm so fly guy, I got all my jurisdictions down now. So I ain't had to mention the Prophet. I said the Prophet Muhammad, I'm Grand Mufti of North America, over all Muslims, whether it be 5%ers, Shia, Sunnis, and Nation Islam, I'm the Grand Mufti of all of that. Now, so I told that in the FBI building, G-Money, so I wasn't talking on the phone. All right, and they had to say, and I said it's interfaith because as the Grand Mufti of North America, I'm ruling by the Constitution of Medina. Now, so I'm teaching the Jews, Christian, and Muslims how to get along in America.
The funky cold Medina.
Then I went to all the other stuff, Circle 7, the Year of the Bible, and all that. But see how I had to go all the way to the Prophet? So then, look, who gonna come out from Chicago? Sheik gonna say, no, I had to face the Alphabet Boys that tell him Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and ain't no Grand Mufti hired me with the black fez to open up a court. Now, and then I use the Holy Bible, Revelation 3, verse 7 through 13. Because I'm the angel in the church of Philadelphia. And it says, when I open, no man can shut. When I shut, no man can open. And I'll come to bring the New Jerusalem government of Christ out of the heavens into a physical reality. So the New Jerusalem government of Christ means I told them a municipality. A minute government. Because it didn't mean that. Because I told them, they knew it. The Mayans said the 2012 was the end of the world. And that's when I wrote up this interfaith court. Because it was a new world when I wrote it up that next day after this 12/21/12. Because why? The planet wasn't going nowhere. The world means a civilization or a reality. Because if somebody walking down the street, they're walking down the street and they're in a new world. Somebody walking down the street and they're like, yo, he in his own world. He ain't on another planet. You see what I'm saying? If you're in a third world country, you're not on another planet. So when the Mayans said December 21st, 2012 was the end of the new world, end of the world, it was into that devil civilization, into that era, that civilization, that cipher. So that's what it's all about. So that's why I came in as the new prophet, as the Mahdi, 100 years, because I had to come on 99 years. Ain't that deep? Because at 2012, nobody believed the Moors. Everybody from every Black Power group, Sa-Neter ripped up, the General Sarah Sudi ripped up Sabir Bey. He made Sabir, he ripped Sabir to tears, had me crying, laughing. Sarah Sudi, the General. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Anyway, ripped him to shreds. So anyway, and I'm like, this brother's a good Black Power brother. Listen,
years and
years
ago.
Of course it was.
Baby days. No.
No. What's the baby years for who? Who was the baby years for?
No, I'm saying like.
Must have been years.
No. Y'all saying that. I ain't say that.
No, I ain't say that either.
No, then you gotta let me tell you. No, don't say that. No, Sabir's 10 years older than me.
Right.
No, they sunned all them brothers for years, bruh. They was saying that Moors was weak and then they was on that pussy shit. They was on that punk shit because they was on that nice love goddess soft shit. No, it was real. And them, they was living up to it. They was, the goddess and we don't, it's all about love, Mo. And while Albion shooting out Sandra beautiful ass Bland. See? No, they was right. So when I came in 99, when I came in 2012, the Moors' reputation was in the trash. They wasn't believing nothing about no Moors. No Moors stuff was working in courts. It was trash and red flag because people didn't know all the RV Bay publications was red flagged by all the courts of the country. So they get automatically red flagged by the computer. The person doesn't even write nothing down. Just computer just says null and void. So it's been like that for 8 years since 2009. So reputation in 2012, from 2009 to 2012, with all them documents being red flagged and people not knowing why the epidemic around the country of Moors and documents not working was because they was red flagged. So by 2012, it was trash reputation. The Mahdi, another prophet, had to come on in 99 years. 99 years is 99 attributes of Allah. Right? Because what? The prophet came 1913. So at 2012, it's 99 years from 1913. It was in the trash. So I had to come and fulfill it. And get on the bench and had the cojones. And and actually fulfill the prophet's words. And then they gave all these Moors the guts. Believe me. Now Moors started giving out food every Thursday. They wasn't giving out food, bro. When I was in 2012, I was the only Moors giving out food around the and 50-pound boxes of chicken. Doing all that missionary work with the museum, the Sickle Cell Association, under the Moors, as the Caliph, under the city Philadelphia letterhead, all that. Homeland Security, FBI, all that. So that's all it is, Moors. So we're going to pull everybody together. Everybody get to do what they do, but they're going to have to still come through the interfaith. I mean, they're going to have to come through the Moorish Science Temple of America Magistrate Subject Court more. This is your notice. If you file anything Moorish in any county saying that you're Moor, whatever it is, right, it's going to come to our court because the Albion's going to pay us 100 notes to have your court case heard by us because it got to come through something because y'all just saying y'all nobles of the galley. You've been saying too much nonsense for so many years. So I issued the fatwas. So they rather somebody. So now that's what the next agenda on. You know, buyer beware. You just know because now it's going to come through our magistrate and subject court, chapter 29 court. And if we find that you are writing this act, then you'll have the whole power of our court to help squash your family court case or squash your charges in the system, because we've been doing that lately. Tell the guys, we've been doing that. We're crushing family court cases and everything left and right. Praise Allah, because the children's that's best interest of the children, right? So we will lean into it, but you're going to have to come to our court. If you're in Arkansas territory and you file something, because we getting calls from all kind of Wichita, Kansas, and they saying Moorish National Republic people filing white powder and envelopes and clearing the courthouse, and we don't know what to do. And y'all the only Moorish National Republic filing in the whole country, and we far away from Wichita, Kansas. We like, dang, you know. So we do the interviews with these types, and so we had to tell them about the fatwa and start telling them, look, spread the word around the country to all the courts. Just pay us, give us our fee, and remove that court case to us, so we could deal with it. Of course, if they write this act, we're going to come back and we're going to lean into y'all. But if 90% of it ain't, it's just games, and a lot of it is just, a lot of court cases that we had that I had to reject that were not good sovereign cases or whatever type cases these more, just equity cases. Everybody likes to say equity, right? Like, wasn't these types of good cases? They still got food, they got shelter, we gave them a home, we rented them a space, we gave them a car, because at the end of the day, the Mo really just needed a job or all this. So we really gaveled the case down, but we say there's a chaplain there, there's an angel advocate there. This angel advocate you just get a family advocate. But if it's really crisis, you get an angel advocate, really important. Because on the other side, on the Albion side, they got a lot of devil's advocates. So we give you an angel advocate, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I mean? And go from there, more. But you're going to have to come through our court. Because Vader Bay, we're here. I'm on the Death Star in the Beirut. I'm on the mother plane. And then y'all can run around and they think Luke Skywalker them good people, but they not. They running around, they gens. And you can be autogenous. I'm going to blow up the planet. And you better get on this safe haven. You better get beamed up or something. You better be in that number when the saints go marching in.
It's just like that. Ask the magistrate. You better be ready for the answer.